in. How is it going, everyone? Welcome to more Gran Turismo 4, and today should be the final day of this shitty Formula tournament, or well, championship, whatever. So yeah, let's just finish it. Only 2 races remaining that are the equivalent of 3 hours, so don't worry about it. It's gonna be over soon. So the 2 remaining races, I assume they are gonna be Hong Kong and Tsukuba Circuit in that order, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. I am indeed wrong. Fuji Speedway, really? Okay. Sure. I guess. I don't see why not. Damn, so if the final track is Tsukuba Circuit, they went all in on Japanese stuff. Like, this whole thing has, like, what, 4 Japanese tournaments? What am I saying? Tracks? Like, it has the Tokyo track. Wait, I'm trying... Hold up. No, I cannot focus on that. I need to focus on the race. Once I get on the lead, I can focus on remembering, but for the time being, let me focus on the race. Well, actually, I probably should do a full lap, just to at least know what I'm expecting. I mean, I know what Fuji is, but I still need to know with a Formula car how to do the corners. Wow, that's an extremely sharp corner, holy shit. And it's not a chicane that you can skip like you can in the other version of Fuji. Okay. There is still one more. I was out to say, this championship has Tokyo, it has 2 Motegi races, one in the oval and one in the normal track. It has Fuji Speedway, and I gotta assume the last one is gonna be the Tsukuba Circuit. I mean, we still don't know what the last one is gonna be, and I certainly was not expecting Fuji here. But yeah, they went all in on Japanese tracks, that's for sure. But then leaving Hong Kong out is wild. Unless they somehow put Hong Kong on the final race, that's very wild. Or, like, I feel like it's wild that they decided to include Motegi Oval and not something like Hong Kong. I mean, in a way, I can say that I'm relieved because it's a very hard track, Hong Kong. But on the other hand, it's a very big wasted opportunity for the whole point of being a world championship, when a big portion, well, almost half of the races are in Japan, assuming Tsukuba is the last one. Well, and if Tsukuba is not the last one, 1/4 of the races, no, sorry, 1/3 of the races are Japanese. Right? No, sorry, I don't know how to count. Forget what I should say. No, my bad. I can't count for shit. There are 15 races in total, and so far 4 of them are Japanese. That means that almost 1/3 of them is Japanese. And it will actually be 1/3 if we're talking about Tsukuba being the last one. Sorry, sometimes my mathematics fail very badly. It happens, it's alright. It's gonna be a long race, by the way. Most likely an hour and 40 minutes, as it's been the case, I guess, in the past races too. So, not surprising. At least Fuji is an easy track, because it has some extremely sharp corners, but the thing is that here, if you fuck up, you have asphalt on the outside, so nothing is gonna happen to you. I mean, if this was real life, you would probably get penalized for doing that, but this is not real life. So, you know, no need to worry about that. It is gonna be easy. This most likely is gonna be easy. I probably will have to pit stop every 6 laps, as it's also kind of been the case in almost every race of this length. That will mean having to pit stop 11 times though, which is a little bit annoying. Well, and also means that the race is gonna be very long. I just hope that the last one is not extremely long. But maybe they will make it long just to be like, hey, it's the last one, we're gonna go all out. Damn. Crazy that Hong Kong most likely got the cut. It's understandable, I mean, it's a Japanese game. They want to focus on Japan. Understandable. Weird choice for sure. At least it's the modern version of Fushi. Well, that's also another thing, you know. The other day I was talking about Nürburgring having only the Nordschleife variant. Well, Fushi has like 4 or 3 variants in this game. Like, you have this one, which is supposed to be the modern one. Well, modern when the game came out, at least. The 90s version without chicanes, and I think the 90s version with chicanes. And maybe you might have another one, but I'm not sure. Like, maybe this one without the chicane, I'm not sure. But you have a lot of versions of this track. Essentially, Nürburgring got shafted very badly. They prioritize Japan. They definitely did. But then it's also probably easier to get the license from Japan, considering that it's a Japanese company, you know. Probably. I don't know what other big Japanese track will be missing here. Like, all of the big ones, all of the known ones are here, right? I'm trying to think. Like, you have Fushi, Suzuka, Tsukuba. That was bad. It's fine, don't worry about it. I'm still fine, kinda. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Well, those 3 are essentially like the most popular ones, right? Which other one am I forgetting about? I mean, Suzuka is definitely the most popular Japanese track there is, without a doubt. So after that one, every other one is like a step lower. Suzuka is definitely up there. Now the question here is, should I pit in or should I endure one more lap? If I endure one more lap, nah, but enduring one more lap, nah, that's not a good idea. The only problem is that I have to pit stop 11 times instead of 10, but whatever. So be it. Oh, what the hell? Hold up. Oh, well, you didn't really need to do that to do the pit entrance. Like, you could have gone through the painted zone and, you know, like the game will care. But whatever. If that's the case, that's 11 pit stops. If it was every 7 laps, it will be 9 pit stops actually. So it is a big difference, yes. It is quite a big difference. I don't know if that's gonna be a problem. We will see. I mean, so far, the domination in the track was very straightforward, so I don't think it should be a problem. Maybe we could wait one more lap in every stint. I'm not a fan of doing a lap when the tire is already orange. And it's not like I really have like very messed up accidents or anything like that, so it seems like the tire consumption will be like this no matter what, so I think it will have to be every 6 laps. Much as I'm not a big fan of the idea, I think it has to be. Because the alternative, I should think that it's way worse. And if I had to take a guess, these guys are probably gonna pit stop on lap 10. Maybe I'm wrong and they are gonna do it sooner, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on lap 10. And that could be problematic, but I just think that my pace should be more than enough to leave them in the dust regardless of how many times we pit. It should be way more than enough to win regardless. Okay, not if we start doing stuff like that though. Gotta be careful. Every time that you're behind, you have the pressure to overtake them. So a lot of times you make mistakes trying to go faster than you really can. Gotta be careful with that, bro. Oh, that's very bad. Because on top of slowing down a lot, you also make me drift like that. God damn it. Why do you have to do that? Why are you like that? But unfortunately there I didn't gain any time. I'm at the same distance than on the previous lap, so you better wake up, because this ain't gonna cut it, you know? You gotta wake up, bro. In 120 should be the target time for any lap. Like anything less than that should not be acceptable then, but there are some times where you can lose control so easily. That corner there is extremely complex to do. It's a super slow corner, but you cannot do it very fast at all. But I'm still surprised though. Why am I not gaining any distance? Was I doing it so much better before? That was 2 seconds faster, nothing out of the ordinary. And yeah, it seems that these guys will indeed pit stop at lap 10 as I expected. Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. Obviously that means only 6 pit stops, but right now the difference is huge. Like between 11 pit stops versus 6. That's a bigger difference than usual. The reason why I think that I should be able to hold on 7 pit stops, but I mean, pit stop every 7 laps, but I don't think that's happening. I think doing the corners like that is probably the best thing I can do. So this guy will he will pit stop. So lap 10, that is still a problem. At the very least, these guys try to take the pit stop in the formal way, so they take the most amount of time possible just to enter the pits. So that's nice because that's an advantage for me. I think that's the way you have to do that corner. It's a very fast corner that you can do at full speed, but if you just keep the accelerator, this thing, you know, control itself. You need to play with the accelerator a little bit. It's one of the things about the lack of driving aids that it's more noticeable in tracks with very sharp and slow corners like this one. That's where you notice the most that you are slower. Is that a PB? Oh, it is. Nice. Cool. It's that I do better when I'm not distracted by the cars in front of me. That's gonna be my code. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that lasting one more lap without pitting in is realistic, because that means that the final lap of the stint will be a disaster. As I always say, but starting a lap with an orange tire should never be acceptable. Like, that's not a good idea no matter what. And even less so in a track like this with so many sharp and slow corners. Yeah, you know, if it was a lighter tint of orange, but that is a very dark orange right there. So no, like, I gotta pit in, as much as I don't like. I tried to enter elegantly. How much more game is there after this championship? Well, if you want to go for 100%, a lot, but after this I'm done. At least with the GT mode, not with arcade, but that's something I don't plan to do anytime soon. But yeah, how is it going, Wasabi? Like, after this championship, if you wanted to go for 100%, you have all the license tests, like in the ones that I didn't get gold, which obviously is the majority of them. You have the one make races that I didn't bother doing a single one. You have the driving missions that I couldn't beat, and some of them are extremely hard. And you have that one weird tournament in the European competitions that it's like 4 races that are extremely long. Kinda like these ones, but I think even longer. Because instead of using a Formula car, you're using a shitty ass old car. Because it's limited to old cars. And after that, you also have the remaining endurances, some of which are 24-hour endurances. So if you wanted to go for completionism, there is a lot of shit remaining. I personally cannot care for them, but yeah, they are there if you want. Now, when it comes to the PS2 Gran Turismos, I think the only thing that I want to do is the arcade mode of both 3 and 4, which if they are like the PS1 Gran Turismos, they are very short modes. But I don't plan on doing that anytime soon. So don't worry, after this stream, you probably won't see Gran Turismo for a while. The only exception could be is if there is enough time on a stream and I decide that the remaining time I do an endurance on Gran Turismo 3 to see if I can unlock a Formula car, but that's the only exception. Like after this you're not gonna be seeing Gran Turismo for a while. But that doesn't mean you won't be seeing racing games. In fact, it's something that I already said before, but I really wanna play Drive Club after this. I might even play it tomorrow, you know? Like I might start it tomorrow. That's also a relatively long game if you play every single event, which I plan on doing. Well, except for the ones with the motorcycle DLC. So I don't have the motorcycle DLC. But yeah, I plan on doing all of the ones where cars are involved. But yeah, it'll take a while. Essentially, I wanted to be done with this championship relatively quickly, simply so I could move on to other racing games. Because I didn't feel right playing other racing games in the middle of this one. Like even if the muscle memory is not that important, I feel like it's better to have the Gran Turismo chip now, and when I'm done, not have any needs to remember the way I do corners, I brake, I steer. So after this, I'm free to play any racing game that I want. So that's great to me. Because honestly, that's what I've been wanting to play these days, really. When I think of what to play, it's like the only appealing options I think of are racing games. And Project Diva. Project Diva is something that you play once in a while. Well, I could play it every day as well, but it will get pretty repetitive. Essentially, yeah. The idea will be Drive Club. I was thinking of doing something in between this and Drive Club, but at the same time, why would I? That sucks. That was pretty bad. God damn it. Can't believe that I got careful with the accelerator and I still got fucked. Like, you cannot trust in this car when it goes fast. Like, I have trust issues with this car. When it goes fast, you think he's your friend, but he isn't. He will backstab you when you least expect it. That is without driving aids, though. With driving aids, I'm pretty sure I can do that, like holding down the accelerator with no issues. But the moment traction control is not in the menu, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. There's nothing you can do. Now this guy is gonna overtake me again, by the way. It seems that we're gonna be in a constant cycle of overtaking here. At least it means that it will keep the race interesting. So that's cool. Man, how did I lose control here? That's crazy. Like, I was playing with the accelerator. And yeah. Now the issue is if the last track is Tsukuba Circuit, the mistakes in that track are paid a lot more handsomely. You make a mistake in that track and you're probably gonna lose 10 seconds per corner minimum. Even if it's a small mistake. Tsukuba Circuit is a track that I think has a lot of sand. So the moment you go off track, you are gonna... you're gonna lose time. A lot of it. So that sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, it will be a fitting end to have Tsukuba Circuit for last. Because it's a very technical track that it's gonna be hard to drive without driving aids, but it's not gonna be the insane exaggeration that the Nürburgring was. Well, nothing will come close to the shit show that was Nürburgring without driving aids. That was on a tier of its own. Yeah. Now will I get overtaken here, I wonder? Will it happen? I don't know. I think I will get overtaken. Yeah, I definitely will get overtaken. Well, that's a shame. I mean, considering that they have to pit stop in 2 laps, it's whatever. So here I actually don't know at what point I will ever be able to lap them. I don't think I can lap them. And that's simply because my frequency for pit stopping is way too high. So I don't think I can actually lap them at all. And it will be the first time I cannot lap them in a track like this that is not like as long as Le Mans or Nürburgring. So that's interesting. I mean, if I manage to lap them, it will only be once, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know, dude. It's looking very hard. Keep in mind, it's 11 pit stops versus 6. That's almost twice the amount that they have to pit stop. Almost twice. That's crazy. I mean, obviously in any regular race, that will mean a sure defeat. Just that here the AI is dumb enough to not pose a threat even with an advantage as big as that, so you don't have to worry too much. Wait, are you pit stopping now? Really? On lap 19? I was not expecting that. But you're the only one pitting in. That makes it even weirder. He's the only one pitting in. Is that because of the interaction he had with me? Like maybe that made his tire wear slightly higher and it forced him to pit stop? That would be pretty funny because no one else pit stopped. Well, rip the gray car. I mean, I personally don't care about you. Yeah, you're not winning the race like that. Because, I mean, it's not a problem if you only do it once. But if you constantly keep pit stopping on the 9th lap of every stint, you're not winning against the other guys. I mean, you're not winning against me no matter what you do, but you're definitely not beating the other guys either. If the other guys are able to hold on for 10 laps every time, they will win. Not my business how you fight between each other. As long as you cannot beat me, that's fine by me. Fight all you want. You can see that those guys will pit stop now. Essentially, we have as the second place the purple blue car. I mean, not now, because now the gray car will be ahead. But if this history repeats of, you know, the gray car pit stopping every 9 laps, he will be left behind without a doubt. Maybe it just happened because of the interactions that he had with me. Yet again, it's my fault that the gray car doesn't get to be second place. But hey, you should have considered being faster, perhaps. Now this is gonna be an extremely... No, actually, considering that we are almost a third through the race and there's half an hour that passed, that means that it's most likely gonna take an hour and 35 minutes or something like that. Okay, not that bad. Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. And today we're also gonna see the reveal of what the car is the reward for winning this, basically. Assuming the game doesn't decide to crash like it already did a couple of times. Oh, that was a PB. That was a PB. We can actually go below an hour to an hour. A minute 20. And can you imagine a track where doing a single lap takes an hour? That will be something. No, that wouldn't really be possible in real life. I mean, you could do a bunch of like street roads. But at that point you will have to do illegal racing. You wouldn't be able to do an official race at all. So you will have to cut so many roads to have a race like that even be possible that it's absolutely not viable. I mean, already Nürburgring is a monstrosity in terms of size. And that is quote unquote only 6 minutes long with a fast racing car. With other things it's like 8 minutes. But still pretty far from an hour, you know. Will this be a PB? No, it will not. Is the lap I have to pit stop. This will be the race with the most amount of pit stops by me. 11 pit stops. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think any other race had this many pit stops, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was one with 11, but I don't remember it. There is also another game that I've been looking out to play that is not a racing game, which is Mario Sunshine, but nah, I decided that it's not the time yet. I probably could have held on another lap, actually, but I guess I didn't want to risk it. Because the tire here was less orange than it usually is. I gotta keep the discipline, even if it sounds tempting. Do not pit stop late. Later? Yeah, but I don't know when it will be later, you know. As you know, when it comes to me, a game I have in my mind to play, it could come in a week the same way it could come in a year. I don't have guarantees. But yeah. The thing is that I did see the beginning because, you know, I wanted to see if it worked, but it seems like it will be a very gimmicky game, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. I feel like lately I want to go for more straightforward things, you know. And it's the reason to me why Mega Man is still #1 in my eyes. Being that straightforward is a blessing to me. But hey, it will happen eventually, I guess. I mean, maybe even after Drive Club, it's just that could be in a long time from now. But I don't know, as I said, I don't really have any guarantees at all. I think that right now my mind is mostly on racing. Like on racing games, I mean. Like another one that I wanna play relatively soon is Nitro Kart, Crash Nitro Kart. So a lot of options that essentially involve racing games in one way or another. Hey, you never know, maybe, because as I say, Drive Club is a very long game for what I remember. So it's possible that after Drive Club I'm gonna be so tired of seeing cars that maybe I don't wanna touch another racing game in a while. It's possible. I don't know. But I'm considering that it's a long game, it might also be possible that I will take little breaks in between streams to stream something else. But yeah, maybe my memory is wrong and it actually wasn't a very long game. Like, here's the thing. Drive Club is a game that has small races with 3 objectives each. And if you get all 3 objectives, you complete that race. It's just that it has a lot of races, you know? Not to mention it has a lot of DLCs. And I have the majority of them. The only ones I don't have are the ones involving motorcycles. But I mean, honestly, who gives a shit about motorcycles? I like cars so much that motorcycle racing feels so lame to me. I mean, it's probably amazing to do in real life, especially because differently from a car, it's like you're putting your whole body to the test and you are essentially going against the wind on your own. I mean, you don't have any windshield. Yeah, you have a helmet, sure, but the thing is that you are going against the wind on your own. I can assume that in real life doing motorcycle racing feels very good. When your only contact with motorsport racing is video games, I cannot really imagine, you know, motorcycles feeling better than cars at all. That was a weird corner. It's fine. I don't know how to reach these guys, but on the next lap we will all have to pit stop. Unless the gray guy... No, okay, the gray guy didn't pit stop here. But no, hold up. Right now they are in lap 29, which means that they will pit stop technically on the next one after this. But I will have to pit stop on this one. I mean on this one here. Lap 30. At the end of lap 30, of course. Also, later this month, the new Sonic racing game releases. I'm not gonna buy it because I think it's extremely expensive, and I still think that they are most likely not gonna surpass neither Sonic Riders nor All Stars and Racing Transform. Miku being there, I gotta admit, is extremely tempting, but I don't know. I feel like I'm only gonna buy that game when it goes on sale. Probably. When it goes on sale in like 3 years, when it's less than half the amount. See, it's not really a game that I look for. Like, oh, this guy is pitting in early again. So it's something to do specifically with the silver car for some reason. I don't know why he wants to pit stop this early, but yeah. Works for me. Well, technically, actually, he's still pitting in every 10 laps. It's just that since he pit in on an earlier one on the previous one, he's still gonna be behind. So yeah, it probably means that the reason why he did that in the first place is because of me. Really nice that I'm so important to you, Mr. Silver Car. But yeah, what I was out to say is, like, in that game, rather than the game itself, in the new Sonic game I'm talking, rather than that, the thing that I'm looking forward the most is playing as Miku. Like, everything else to me is secondary. Though, the fact that you can also play as as the Babylon Morons is also pretty nice. Because I really like Sonic Riders, and the idea of doing that is cool. But I think it's a very expensive game. And I don't think it's gonna do things better than All Stars and Racing Transform. That game already does almost everything perfectly. Not to mention, there is all these other characters I cannot manage to give a shit about. Like Steve from Minecraft, Joker from Persona, like, I don't care, dude. Like SpongeBob. I like SpongeBob as a cartoon. It's a pretty funny cartoon. But like, come on, dude. It doesn't fit in a fucking Sonic game. What are you even doing? I mean, it doesn't fit in a Sonic game in the same way it doesn't fit in a Smash game in anything. Are all of this real? Yeah. There is a reason why the game is called Cross Worlds. The idea is that you do crossover with, well, things that don't really make much sense to make crossover with, I guess. But yes, that game already has... Like, Miku is part of the base game, if I'm not mistaken. And Joker, I think, might also be part of the base game. What I don't think is part of the base game is Steve and SpongeBob. But yeah, the point is that you have abominations like that I don't care, dude, that doesn't fit with Sonic. And you could also say, well, you know, Miku doesn't. No, Miku does fit with Sonic. Miku is absolutely perfect for Sonic. Because they are essentially, well, not only both have games from the same company, but aside from that, it's like Miku is a very Japanese thing, you know? And there have been multiple Sonic games that had an equivalent to Miku at the time, which was essentially Ulala from Space Channel. For fuck's sake, I tapped the brakes and that's what happened. But I guess that's the issue. Tapping the brakes makes you lose control there. You should not touch the brakes whatsoever, I guess. Sorry, I got distracted. I was about to say, Sonic games already have someone like Miku in previous games. And basically Miku is here to fulfill the role of Ulala that no one gives a shit about anymore. Well, nobody gave a shit about her back then either, but the thing is that now even less so. While Miku is someone that everyone knows, well, everyone that is on the internet at least. Ulala is like, what? Who? Right? So that character makes sense. But yeah, after that, the other one that also makes sense that I think is in the game is... Promise I don't know his name. It's a guy from the Yakuza games. Is it called Mashima? Like the guy with the afro that is from Like a Dragon? Is that his name? I don't know. The point is that that guy is apparently in the game too, and that guy is fitting. You also had games like Ryo from Shenmue or similar guys that are from a similar game. I think you also had Streets of Rage characters too, so that's fitting, I think. Also being a game made by Sega, the Yakuza series, so... Or well, made or published, but the point is that they have relation with Sega. On the other hand, shit like the Joker and SpongeBob is like, or Steve from from Minecraft. It's like, what are you doing here? You don't fit. You are not welcome here. Space Channel 5 community is absolutely furious. I think you stated very well, 5. All 5 of them. All 5 Space Channel fans are very furious right now. But yeah, don't worry about it. They are gonna get over it. Surely. I mean, if they can cope with the lack of new games, they can probably cope with someone calling their character a nobody. And they probably would agree anyway, so... yeah. My point is that Miku is my main motivation to play. And if that's my only motivation to play, I don't think there's much of a reason to pay that much. I mean, it's also a Sonic racing game, that's also a motivation, but... like, as I say, I already played 2, Sonic Riders and All-Stars Racing Transform. Those 2 games to me are already good enough. And for what I've seen about this game, it doesn't look bad, but I don't know. I don't think if it's precisely what I'm looking for. Maybe it is. Maybe it's... if it's a game that I have and I play, I will be like, oh shit, this game is fantastic. I don't know. The only way to know is by playing it. But yeah, playing it is very expensive, so no thank you. I'll wait. Not like I'm in a hurry, I mean, as I mentioned before, I have so many racing games in mind that one is not even part of the list. But yeah, don't worry about it. In fact, I was even planning, one of my friends got one of those family packs for the Nintendo Switch Online thingy. So if I eventually tell them that I wanna join, I don't do it now because I'm not gonna use the Switch now, but if at some point I do, I'm even planning on playing Mario Kart 8 online again. Because that game is fantastic, and the only reason why I stopped playing it is because the online subscription that my other friend had back then expired. I mean, as fantastic as it is, it's a solfest though. Playing that game online is not very good for your health, but regardless of how good it is for your health, it's a very good experience, because it's a very good game. Mario Kart 8 is a fantastic game. I don't know how Mario Kart World is, and again, it's something that I won't know because that will require buying a Switch 2, and I'm not doing that. I mean, so far I haven't been shown any reason to buy a Switch 2. Back then when I bought the Nintendo Switch, my main reason was the Smash Ultimate. And then afterwards there were other reasons, like playing a lot of games that were in the Wii U. That now that I think about it, I don't think I played a single one of those. Well, yeah, Mario Kart 8, I guess, but aside from that, like, my idea was playing shit like, I don't know, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Zelda Breath of the Wild, like games like that, and I ended up not playing a single one of them. And that's mostly because, as old as a lot of those games are, they barely go on sale, and the moment they go on sale, the price is pretty much the same, just slightly discounted. Instead of having like an 80% discount, like Steam usually does, no, they are like 15% discount, and I'm risking it, right? So yeah, nah. I don't really feel like really playing any of those games anyways. It just was nice to have a console that could play them, but at the end of the day I ended up not playing them, so it's whatever. The Switch 2 doesn't even have that, doesn't have a single game. Because essentially, Mario Kart World, for what I've seen, doesn't seem like a better game than 8. It seems like another game. As in, something that you can hardly compare despite both being Mario Kart games. But I don't think it's better than 8. And then you have Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's like, I don't care that much about Donkey Kong in the first place. And even if I did, it basically plays nothing like the Donkey Kong games anyways. Metroid, I don't give a shit. What else do you have? Well, you have Kirby Air Ride. I mean, the first game was cool. It's just that if you ask me, hey, what game will you want a sequel of? That will be one of the last games on my mind. Because at that point, I don't know, bro, just put Kirby on Mario Kart. I mean, Link is already there. Just put him there and call it a day. I know that Kirby Air Ride plays very differently than Mario Kart. But I don't really think that the uniqueness of Air Ride is really something that plays in its favor, really. Like, as I say, I did like the Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube. It was a very cool game, but it's not a game that I go crazy about. But yeah, whatever, right? And then they announced the virtual ball, the virtual. Wait, how was it called? Virtual Boy, right? Like the shitty ass thing that you put in your eyes and you see games in red 3D. Like, that thing was shitty back then, and I'm pretty sure it's still shitty today. So yeah, that's not a very nice incentive to buy a fucking console, dude. So essentially what I'm saying is that I don't have a single incentive to buy a Switch 2. I'll tell you what though, if they somehow manage to release a Project Diva game that is exclusive on the Switch 2, I will probably have to pull the trigger. The only problem with that is that I'm most likely gonna cuck myself, because just like it happened with Megamix, they are probably gonna release a version on Steam later on. So basically, the whole point about buying a whole new console for a game that will later on be ported on PC is very stupid. Oh, also, the silver car went to pits a lap earlier again, so I guess it wasn't a one-off thing. Well, in that case, you are not getting second place, mister. So start changing your paint to bronze, because you're not getting the silver. Anyways, the point is that a new Project Diva game exclusive for the Switch 2 that is simply not a port of Megamix, because I mean, if it's the third port of Megamix, no, obviously that's not enough. But if it's a new Project Diva game with more songs, I mean, it doesn't even have to have more songs. If it has different songs than the ones on Megamix, and by extension Future Tone, that will heavily make me consider it. like getting a Switch 2. But I kinda doubt that's gonna happen with how popular Project Sekai is. They don't really have any reasons to develop a real video game, you know. They don't. And maybe they are gonna release a Miku Fitness game like the one they already released on the regular Switch. Yeah, I'm very lazy for that sort of physical shit. Can be asked. And come on, your tire is not even orange yet. Keep it together. I really do wonder how popular the Switch 2 is gonna be when it comes to numbers. Because the Switch was extremely novel at the time, and was essentially what kickstarted the whole, you know, half home console, half handheld console. So that, because of that reason alone, it sold a lot. But I don't know if the Switch 2, like, it really doesn't have any hook at all. Right now, at least. But that's the thing. The regular Switch already had a hook on release. This one doesn't, so I'm curious to see what the numbers are gonna look like. But something tells me that this is gonna be a disaster in the same level as the Wii U. But you know, Nintendo can definitely afford to lose money. They already been losing money for quite a while, so losing a little bit more won't do anything. I think it's fucked up because all of the big names, all of the big Nintendo names, so far don't seem to present a good iteration of their games. The first one that comes to my mind is Pokemon. I don't know if that game already came out or not, but for what I've seen, that game is gonna suck so many balls. Like any modern Pokemon game, basically. It's like you're not really giving people a reason to be like, oh shit, this game is gonna be on the Switch 2, I need to have it. It really feels like Mario Kart World is the biggest hook right now. I mean, eventually they will release a Mario game that is exclusive for the Switch 2, the same way they released Odyssey for the Switch, and that will probably be Though Pokemon was supposed to be a game about throwing balls, not sucking them, well, tell Game Freak that. Because that's what Game Freak is doing. Game Freak is doing some very bad shit. Well, they even announced it, I forgot. On top of the shitty ass Legends games that they have, they also announced a game called Pokopia. That is like Animal, well, it's like I think Dragon Quest something. But I guess the most popular comparison is against Animal Crossing. Like, it's a game about building shit. And I think that will have its audience, especially probably with the same people that enjoy games like Animal Crossing, which are not a few. There are a lot of people, mostly women, that really like Animal Crossing. So that game, Pocopia will probably have an audience, but is that enough to be a system seller though? Because it feels like Animal Crossing on the Switch is something that people that already own a Switch are like, oh shit, this game is pretty nice, I wanna buy it. I don't know if many people were like, oh shit, Animal Crossing on the Switch, I need to have a Switch. Well, maybe the hardcore fans, but I doubt that those are like a very sizable portion. Yes, Animal Crossing has an extremely big fan base, but I'm talking about the hardcore ones, the ones that played every single game, that know the name of every NPC, that know every little secret that every game has. I'm talking about those. Those are not that numerous. Like, it's not that numerous in almost... Oh shit, that was a PV. Like, it's not numerous in any other game, really. The hardcore audiences don't tend to be numerous because the majority of people is not hardcore. So yeah. The Switch 2, until they have stronger titles, I don't think it's gonna hook anyone. Because the gimmick of the Switch is the exact same one. So you don't have the novelty of the console hybrid with the Joy-Cons and all of that. It's the same console but more powerful. And with slightly better hardware. Well, which, yeah, more powerful, I mean, also better peripherals. So that's nice, but I don't think it's enough of a hook. And I've been hearing that, maybe this is just a rumor that is completely baseless. I've been hearing that Sony is thinking of a PlayStation 6. Dude, maybe you should worry about the PlayStation 5 instead. Like, I don't know. You know that PlayStation 5 is a console that I constantly hear that it's outsold and all of this shit. Like, a lot of people that want a PS5 don't have it. Not because they can't afford it, but because they don't sell it. And I've been hearing that since release, and it's like it never stopped. I feel like before moving on to PlayStation 6, you probably want to make sure that a bigger portion of the players own a PS5, you know? And that's without mentioning the fact that there is already barely enough of a reason to buy a PS5. So why would anyone buy a PS6? Well, a lot of people will still do it, but at this point I feel like you're just gonna lose money, dude. Like, unless the PS6 can run games in a never seen before performance or whatever, like it comes with a gimmick that was never done before. If it's just PS5 but more powerful, which is essentially what the PS5 already is, a PS4 but more powerful, which at the same time is also what the PS4 already is, the PS3 but more powerful, right? So at that point, if that's the only thing, I don't know, dude. I don't think you're gonna get very far. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm living in my own fantasy world, and in reality, if the PS6 release is gonna be like a best-selling, like it's gonna sell millions of copies. I don't know. It's a possibility. Not to mention that maybe a lot of people that skip the PS5 are gonna be like, okay, now I feel like it's worth to go back into PlayStation and they buy the PS6. It's possible, but I don't know. Honestly, consoles fucking suck. That's what I know. I feel like more companies should emphasize in selling computers that work off the bat. I know that you already have shit with Alienware and stuff like that, but I feel like if someone like Sony did that, like Sony, I know that it's probably not gonna happen because they will have to partner with their direct rival, which is Microsoft. But yeah, that's the thing, forget about Sony. Why doesn't Microsoft release like their own computers, like their own hardware? I call it the Xbox Cox. But instead of just being a console, you can use it as a Windows machine on top of being a console. Kinda like the Steam Deck, but the Steam Deck is a handheld that it's essentially something that you could theoretically use as a PC, but not really. But yeah, forget about that. Release a PC that has focus on video games, but that can also work as a PC. You can connect a mouse, a keyboard, you can browse internet, you can install Windows applications. That I feel will be revolutionary. Because the only reason why consoles are still popular is because a lot of people cannot get into PC gaming, and it makes sense. On top of the fact that it's very expensive, it's also not super straightforward. You have to investigate if you want to build a PC, and once you did that, you also have to, you know, connect the parts together by yourself, install the operative system by yourself, and everything that you require to make it work. Even though, as I say, some companies like Alienware already do a lot of that, but like these are all kind of like third-party things, for lack of a better word. Things that probably don't inspire a lot of confidence in customers that just want something that works, right? So to me, if Xbox release something, I say Xbox simply because it's owned by Microsoft. So if you have an Xbox that is essentially a computer and you can use it as a full-blown computer, I feel like it will be extremely popular. But hey, maybe I'm wrong, because I mean, I'm thinking out how many people will buy it, which is nice and all, but that matters very little if Microsoft doesn't get a profit from that, you know? If you don't get a profit from producing those PCs, what's the point, you know? I feel like that should be the natural next step for consoles. Because unless you're going for a new gimmick the same way the Switch went when it released, like, there is just no reason to buy a new console. It probably is not profitable, what I'm saying. Like, releasing a full-blown PC, like, massively produce that is most likely not feasible. Not to mention that they probably wouldn't have enough supply to satisfy the demand. So I can assume that they will be extremely popular. You know, it's not like Sony couldn't do that. Just that if Sony were to do that, And the problem is that in order to have a PC, you need to support Windows applications. If you don't support Windows applications, yes, technically you're a PC by definition, like if you act like a PC, but nobody will really see something like that as a PC, right? Like, unless you can run Windows applications, you are not considered a PC by the majority of the population. You know? So I see it very hard Sony somehow releasing something like that by themselves, like being able to do an operative system by themselves that somehow supports Windows applications without breaking several copyright laws. But Microsoft can definitely do it if they wanted to. I don't know though. I mean, after all, I also think that desktop PCs are more or less in decline anyways. I mean, most people are going mobile. So maybe they actually wouldn't have the demand that I think they would. Maybe it will still be something that will be relatively niche. So, I mean, majority of people play games on a cell phone. I mean, you can make fun of the games themselves, but they are games at the end of the day. But maybe it's not a good idea after all. I don't know. Are you gonna do all the corners from the outside like that? Yeah, it is true that you're supposed to drive in the asphalt, but it has to be the asphalt that is on the inner side, not the outer side, you know? It doesn't work like that. So, I mean, there is still a long time to go, well, a relatively long time, but I still think that the final race is gonna be Tsukuba Circuit. It will really be Japanese moment. A third of the races being in Japan. I mean, it will be an extremely wasted opportunity if they somehow have a game that has Tsukuba Circuit and then make a Formula Championship and not include that circuit in the game. I feel like it will be insane to say the least. There will be no reason to do that. But who knows? Maybe they will do that. Ah, shit. Nice pit entrance, bro. Very good pit entrance. Well, at least you crashed right before the pit, so they can repair the damage very quickly, surely. So, there are 2 more pit stops remaining. Much as I would like for only one to be, no, there's 2. There's 2 remaining. So that's annoying, but it is what it is. At least the race will more or less take what I expected it will take in terms of time, so not a problem. Can you imagine that the final race is Le Mans without chicanes? Like, for some reason they thought it was an amazing idea to put Le Mans twice. And I mean, I understand they did that with Motegi, but the thing is that Motegi Oval and the full road Motegi course are extremely different. I mean, Le Mans with or without chicanes, that's literally the only change. The only change is that you remove the chicanes from the main straight. So yeah, I don't think they will do that, but if they manage to do that, that will be pretty funny. Will also probably be very close to a free victory. I mean, I'm not worried about that. Because the thing is that if a situation like Nürburgring repeats, where I cannot beat it without driving it, yeah, no problem, bro. I'll just enable them. You know, like whatever. It's fine by me. If it is Suzuka, I can imagine that there might be a danger like the one in Nürburgring where at the beginning I might start very badly. It's just that I hope it doesn't make me reset. Because I think Suzuka should be doable. I mean, differently from Nürburgring is something that you can easily memorize. Well, it's a track that I already have memorized. It's just that by memorizing I mean knowing exactly how fast to go with this car in every corner. That's what I mean by memorizing. That's not a hard thing to do. And very nice drift, dude. Amazing even. Now, the issue is that Suzuka has one part like that is very high speed with a very risky corner. Like almost at the end of the track before the final chicanes. It has like a corner that goes left, but it goes left after a very long straight. And it's also a corner that you can do very fast. So that's the corner where the chances of getting into a very nasty accident like that one, like the chances are gonna be very high. So, you know, I'm very tempted to not do the final pit stop. I basically pit stop at 60 and then not pitting until the end of the race. Which will mean doing the final lap with an orange tire at the beginning of it. But since I never tried it, I want to see how it will be. Because I mean, at that point obviously I wouldn't risk losing with the insane advantage I have, so it wouldn't really matter. So I want to see how bad it will be. Like, in the alternative that I will have pits in every 7 laps instead of 6, I just want to see how it will look like. Probably a bad idea, if you ask me. Like, my guess is that it's a horrible idea. And it's not a very risky guess at all, you know. PB? No, but very close. Can you stop losing control here? At least there is an insane asphalt safeguard that you can simply go through. And man, well, if I'm not mistaken, in that corner that I mentioned in Suzuka, you also have asphalt on the outer side. So I guess it could be worse, but still. Now, you know that the interesting thing is that I'm most likely gonna save the silver car from finishing in last place. Because chances are that the race is gonna be over before he has to pit in again. Like, I'm most likely gonna cross the finish line before he has to do the last pit stop. That's the only thing that will make him not get overtaken by everyone else. So hey, you should be grateful, mister. You owe me a favor. Also, very nice corner there, by the way. I wanted to do it through the grass, because I missed the feel of rally, you know. Well, you wanted to see the silver guy, there he is. As much as I can lap him twice here, I need to pit stop, so it's not gonna last for long. If I didn't have accidents, I probably could have lap these guys twice, but yeah, with these accidents it ain't happening. Forget about it. But I will try to make this one my last pit stop, just to see how much of a shit show the final lap is gonna be. Probably quite a shit show, but until I see it I cannot know, you know? I wanna experience it for myself. So, you know, well, I know that the music here is barely audible thanks to the sounds of the engine, but in case you are tired of hearing the same playlist over and over again, the good thing is that in Drive Club there is zero music. You don't have to worry about listening to music, you will have to hear the engine sound though. And in that game they sound very loud. And very distinct as well. That was probably one of the main focuses of the game, to make the cars sound very, very real. I mean, that's most likely the reason why they don't have music while you are racing. Even if there was there, you wouldn't be able to hear it. Or maybe there is music and I was never able to hear it back when I played the game. You know, I'm pretty sure that when I tested it lately, I also didn't hear any music. Outside of the menus, that is. I mean, yeah, who cares about the menu music? But I gotta say that Gran Turismo has always had very good menu music. Like, it's very iconic, especially the one in this game. Yeah, the Gran Turismo soundtrack being just, you know, engine noises. But, you know, Drive Club is essentially that. I also, you know, find it pretty funny how I'm talking all of this about Drive Club essentially like praising the game. And you're probably gonna sit and you're gonna be like, wait, is this what you praised all this time? It's just literally a game with races and nothing else. There's nothing outside of races here. Is that what you were looking forward so much to? And yeah, I was. I was because I really like racing, you know. The Drive Club is... see, here's the thing. When Drive Club released, before the company completely closed, the main idea of Drive Club is that it will be a game with very fast online interaction. You will constantly compete against the records of other people. You will quickly match against other people in the multiplayer online. That was the idea of the game. But now that that's not the case, the only thing left is racing against the AI. You know? So it wasn't always the idea, but back then I also didn't really give a shit about the online aspect either, you know? Like, who cares? You know? Hey, don't worry about it. So now that I think about it, it's a problem. Because you know that there was an online aspect of the game that were the clubs. And leveling up your club allow you to unlock some cars. Which is now essentially gonna be impossible. That's a shame. But it seems to be the case. So... what can you do? I just hope that none of the necessary cars require having a club. Because if I'm not mistaken, the way that the game works is that certain races allow you to enter only, or well, rather, every race has a specific category of cars you're allowed to use. So the moment that you know, the moment that you don't have a car required, you are not gonna be able to participate. I want to believe you're allowed to participate regardless. So in fact, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that the game had some sort of rental system where you could use a car you didn't have, but you wouldn't gain experience with it or some shit like that. So it might not be impossible to play every event, but yeah, I don't know. Wait a second. Will I actually lap these guys 2 times? I mean, that all depends on the final lap. Because the final lap, when the rear right tire is completely busted, if I get into accident after accident, nothing is gonna happen, essentially. Like, I'm not gonna be able to maintain the lead. Yeah, we will see how it goes. Oh wow, I did that very badly, but it's okay. No time wasted. If anything, I think I gained time by doing that very illegal maneuver. Hello. What are you doing? We will see how it goes on the final lap. My guess is that I'm gonna do the final lap so badly, even if I don't necessarily get into an accident, I'm probably gonna do the corner super slowly. So what I predict is that this guy will overtake. But I don't care. But yeah. Final lap. See what happens. At the end of the lap, that tire is probably gonna be red. I wouldn't be surprised. Doing that corner with a tire like that is almost impossible. It's already hard when the tire is in a good condition. Than doing it with that is, yeah, it's like that. It's what I expected it will happen. Doing the final lap without pitting in lap 66, like, yeah, this was gonna be the result. But I can still win by 2 laps. No, in fact, unless I get absolutely fucked on this last corner, no, I actually will still win by 2 laps, damn. That's interesting. That's something that essentially got decided right at the end. Like, lapping them twice. Pretty cool. But yeah, that's Fushi. Pretty cool. But yeah, there is something I need to do, which is resetting the game before the final race, in case the game decides to crash. Because the game can very easily crash on the final race of every tournament. And the solution I found is resetting before starting the race. Maybe that doesn't really work, like maybe that doesn't do shit, it's possible. But I gotta try. So essentially here, what we do is we quickly, since it autosave, we quickly turn this thing off and reopen it. Well, just in case, also close the emulator and then we reopen it. Alright. And now we will be ready for the final race. That I still don't know where it is. My bet is still in Tsukuba Circuit, but honestly, after seeing Fushi, I don't even know what to think. Might be the case, might not be the case, I don't know. But let me also save stage just in case something bad happens. Final race. My bet is still in Tsukuba Circuit, but I don't know. It is Tsukuba Circuit, yeah. To nobody's surprise. Alright, so first of all, I need to change the resolution thingy that I always have to do when I restart or start the game. Because for some reason the game doesn't remember this setting, so I have to change it every time. And then, well, we go into it. As I said, I might need, after an attempt, like, need to activate the driving aids, but maybe not. Maybe I'm being too melodramatic, but I feel like it might be necessary. I don't know though. Because Tsukuba Circuit is one of the most technical tracks in the game. If it wasn't for Nürburgring existing, this thing would probably be up there as one of the hardest tracks in the game. Because the thing is that differently from something like Laguna Seca, This track is hard regardless of what car you use, you know? Whether it's a fast or a slow car, like a sport car or a commute car or a racing car, this track is hard. It's not extremely hard, but still hard enough to be a problem, and especially here since I'm not using driving aids, you know. I mean, with driving aids this will be a no problem. With driving aids I will be talking here about some random shit because I will be essentially doing this on autopilot, since I wouldn't need to think about it. But we will see here. So remember the corner I was talking about? It's this one that comes after this long straight. This corner is very fast, but you're also going extremely fast. So yeah, you can see, wow, that was easy, right? No. Because the moment my tires start deteriorating, I don't know how easy that's gonna be. Also, the pit stop is right there. Okay. Good to know. I don't know if that's the legal entry. Well, a couple things that I forgot to mention. Tsukuba Circuit is the obvious choice here because this is an actual track in the Formula calendar. This is an official track for Formula 1. So it was kinda obvious it will appear sooner or later. But these guys decided to leave it for last because they were like, yes, this is the most important track for us, because we are Japanese developers. And it's understandable. I said it before, but I'll repeat it. Tsukuba Circuit is essentially the most popular Japanese track there is. So, yeah. It's one of those tracks that has a legendary status. And I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that the amount of laps, just like in Monaco, is the official one as well. Like 53 laps. This should take around an hour and a half as well. But we will see. The real question here is not any of that, but rather, like, how often I will need to pit stop. That's the question. How often will that be? My guess, simply because so far most of the races have been 10 pit stops in total, it's most likely gonna be lap 5. But until I get there, I cannot confirm nor deny. If it's lap 5, obviously 10 pit stops. If I somehow could withstand until lap 6, it will be 8, which is very good if I could make it 8. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. We will see. I wouldn't mind it being 5, but I also will need to see how much the other guys are gonna pit stop. But how much as in what lap? Looking at the color of my tires right now, they are most likely only gonna withstand until... Ooh, okay, calm down. Calm down. That was something. That was something without a doubt. So what I don't know here is if the official pit stop starts before the chicane, or if you can simply do the chicane and then go straight to pits. Because it seems that both things are doable. I mean, well, obviously both things are doable in the game, But I don't know in the competition which one will be allowed. I don't see any cones blocking the closest entrance, but I would like to see how my opponents do it. Like, will my opponents take the long path or will take the short one? I personally, the first time, will take the short one. And if I see my opponents taking the long path, assuming I'm not getting demolished, I'll take the long path later too. I don't see how I could get demolished, but you never know. Because if this guy did something ridiculous like pitting in lap 10, that would probably be unwinnable. But I don't think they are gonna do that. they wouldn't do that, right? If I had to take a wild guess, they are gonna lap on lap 7. Pit in on lap 7. That's my guess. But I don't know, I might be wrong. Also, just in case, I know I'm paranoid, but can I get confirmation that the feed is on? I'm pretty sure I remember to put it back on, but just in case I'm gonna ask. No, I'm pretty sure I did put it back on. This time I tried to remember when I click on the OBS source, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I did it. Also, you know that surprisingly that sector of corners doesn't feel as hard to do as I was expecting. Like, I was expecting that to be the hardest part in the track, but no. You mean the stream? Yeah, I mean the stream. Yeah, thanks. What else could I mean, though? I wonder if it wasn't the stream. What could it possibly be? Oh, wait a second. I might withstand until lap 6, because with these tires I don't need to pit in here. Not at all. That's interesting. I thought you meant something with the game. Oh. Yeah, no, don't worry. No, because you know, every time that I reset the game, I hide the feed before turning it off, and then I bring the feed up again when I turn it back on. Mostly because I think that showing the emulator interface will be ugly. It will detach from the experience, you know? Like, the experience here is pretending that I'm using a real PS2. You know? Like, I'm playing this on an analog monitor on a real PS2 with a DualShock 2 controller, right? That's the illusion. Yeah, forget about the textures looking extremely modern from a 2004 game. Don't worry about that. They are definitely not upscale or anything like that, obviously. They certainly look like that 20 years ago. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna attempt to enter pits through the fast path, and then, as I say, see how the AI does it, because apparently there is a pit entrance from before. Well, yeah, that's not the idea. What I wanted is to enter through here. Didn't want to go off track. That happened because I'm a moron, but it wasn't the idea. So, by pitting in lap 6, as I said, it's 8 pit stops in total. And if these guys pit stop on lap 7 like I think they will, it will be 7. So that's okay. That's only 1 pit stop more. However, if they pit stop on lap 8, that will be 6 pit stops. Which is still okay, but it will be better for them. And if they pit stop in lap 10, as I said, it's gonna be unwinnable. But I doubt that they are gonna do that. I just wanna believe they won't. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so these guys waste time on that corner. I was not expecting you to do that. So do you do that in every single lap? Does that mean that... Well, if that's the case, that means I'm going very slow, because for them to do such a gross mistake like that in every lap, and the fact that my advantage is not that big, it means that my driving is quite shit. But it is what it is. So are you pitting in now, or are you still holding on? What is gonna be your choice? No, they won't be pitting in right now. Well, that's a problem. I mean, they can still pit in on 8, but, well, you also have to remember the fuel factor. You don't have infinite fuel, you will have to pit in eventually. Even if your tires are made of titanium, the fuel is not made out of a nuclear reactor where you have infinite energy. You gotta enter pits at some point, mister. Okay, no, it doesn't seem like they all make that mistake. I mean, the orange guy seems to be doing it constantly, though. But the other ones seem to be fine with it. Are you pitting in, mister? If you're not pitting in right now and it's on lap 9, that will mean... Oof, careful. That will mean 5 pit stops as well. What are you gonna do? Okay, he's pitting in, and he also entered the pits through there. So they don't do the long entrance, they do the short one. Which means that I'm obviously gonna do the short one. I'm not stupid enough to do the long one for no reason, you know. Alright, good to know. Essentially they do the chicane normally and then they enter. Just like that. See, those 2 corners, you can do them very, very fast. And I don't really do them fast because it's extremely risky to do them fast. Now, the hairpin that was back there is something that you obviously have to do pretty slowly, but I think that because of the lack of driving aids, I'm doing it extremely slow, but I cannot help it. Now I know that this is just asking to shinz it, but the nice thing is that I think that I haven't had a single accident yet, right? Like all the driving has been extremely clean. I mean, I did have literally the first pit stop that before entering I went to the sand, but like, that was a soft accident. Something that if it happened in real life, your car shouldn't get that fucked up. It will still get fucked up because of the bump slightly, but it's not like a race-ending accident, you know? So far, well, I guess I did get race-ending accidents against my opponents when I tried to overtake them, but fuck them, you know? They are the ones that get in my way. Would have thought twice. It is probably differently from what I initially thought. It seems that this has the potential to be an extremely clean race. I thought I would be doing nothing but accidents, but no. Seems that it's actually gonna be very clean. That's the only part that I'm still afraid of. One of these laps I'm gonna lose control there. One of these laps I'll definitely lose control there. That was a PB. Oh, well, there you go, the first one. Race-ending accident. God damn it. The thing is that you're intended to enter that corner very fast. But the issue is that, yeah, if you enter it too fast, that happens. I mean, at least the AI enters it super fast, and you saw it in one of the previous laps. Like, I was head-to-head with someone else, and I brake super early compared to him. But if I do it like that, well, yeah, that happens. That's the thing with races as long as this one, that you want to constantly test the limits of what you can or cannot do. Because if you try to play it safe every single lap, it becomes boring pretty quickly. So you constantly want to see how far you can push the limits of your car. And apparently in that corner I cannot really push them that far, but that's okay. That's fine by me. So the pit stop has to be on the next lap, not on this one. Important to remember that. Well, even with that accident, I only lost, well, 8 seconds is a lot, but it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, as you can see, all these corners are surrounded by sand, which essentially means that the moment you go off track, you will lose a lot of time. Well, even if it was just grass, you will still lose a lot of time. Okay, whatever, don't worry about it. At least I hope that this time the pit entrance is clean. It's not like it's a hard one to do. So since there are that many paths that lead to pits, I guess sometimes it can get confusing on when to steer right. You might do it too early, but it's fine. Okay, and as... Whew, wow, that was a miracle. The fact that I somehow kept control after that drift is crazy. Like, the fact that that wasn't a full spin into the wall was absolutely crazy. I can't believe that just happened. Holy shit. That was pretty good. That was very, very good. Really like it when that happens. That's something that in real life also happens very often, that you oversteer a little bit in a corner and you start losing control. And if you're skilled enough, you can recover control, but more times than not, you end up spinning when you start oversteering. I mean, it obviously depends on how much you oversteer and in what part of the track, but hey, I don't know. Well, now that after this race we're basically gonna be done with Gran Turismo for a little bit, I gotta say that this game is so good that the thing that I think about when I finish this is, man, I can't wait to play the PS3 games. And that's something that I didn't really think when I finished Gran Turismo 2, when I played it on stream. What I thought was mostly, okay, let's just be done with this and, you know, let's play something else. And, I mean, as I say, here I will let the Gran Turismo rest for a bit, but the point is that I like this game so much that it's like it makes me want more Gran Turismo. And the PS3 games, I have them in my mind. In fact, I've been having them in my mind this last day so much. In one instance, I even dream of one of the PS3 Gran Turismo games. I don't know when I'm gonna play them, but I really, really want to play them eventually. But I'll tell you that I won't play them until I beat the arcade mode of both 3 and 4. That's the only time I'll be okay to play them. But first, if we want to fully be done with the PS2 games, the arcade mode has to be done. And then we can fully dedicate ourselves to the PS3 games. But yeah, I don't know when that's gonna happen. Hey, maybe it will be next year. When I say next year, I don't necessarily mean in a year. But hey, maybe, because you know that now spring is coming, and obviously after spring comes summer. And since the PS3 games probably require my PC to work out quite a bit, the best thing that I could probably do is wait until autumn. So that will be 6 months. I feel like that's a lot though. But I don't think playing the PS3 games in summer is a good idea. At all. I mean, I already don't know how well they are gonna run. All I know is that theoretically they are very playable. So you know that when people say that a game is playable, a lot of times they skip details. I'm talking about emulators, right? Yes, it is playable, but certain effect doesn't work, and if you enter this menu under a certain condition, the game crashes and all of that, right? So I don't know exactly how playable they are, but even if they were perfectly playable, I'm pretty sure any game that is on PS3 will require my PC to work overtime, without a doubt. Most likely. Okay, I kept control. Well, maybe it's not that hard to keep control in that corner after you lose it. That's the second time that I got an oversteer like that, and I still was able to to keep driving like nothing happened, you know. I think that we should be fine. Then, as I say before, I can't believe how Hong Kong got shafted in this championship. Unbelievable, dude. Hong Kong being completely shafted is pretty funny, but pretty sad at the same time. It's okay, it will be remembered, don't worry about it. I will remember it. Will make the effort of remembering it. Don't worry, no. It's okay. Probably the weirdest choice of this championship. Because at least the idea of including the Motegi Oval, you could understand it as, well, the normal World Championship included it, so this one has to include it too. But the lack of Hong Kong makes no sense. Ah, fuck. You step on the grass a little bit and that will happen no matter what. You don't wanna step on the grass even for a millisecond. Not with a car like this. Well, not with any car, but especially not with a car like this. Wait a second. Oh, never mind. They are all pitting. I thought there was one of them that wasn't pitting in, but no. All of them are entering pits. It makes sense. Man, I'm still so curious to see what the reward is gonna be. Like what the car reward is gonna be. Because we already know that the monetary reward is 3 million. It's pretty sweet. I cannot really say I care too much about it. It's a nice reward. But yeah, the car reward, dude. If it's another Force GT, that will be pretty sad. It will basically signal that the Force GT is the director's favorite car. As if it wasn't enough evidence with the introduction fully revolving around it. Okay. We will see. Gotta pit in right about now. No problem. This pit stop, all things considered, is quite fast. Like, it's It's a large pit lane, but it's not like you have to do acrobatics to enter or acrobatics to exit, like in Laguna Seca, for example. It's thankfully relatively simple. Alright. Oh, and not to mention Motegi, dude. Motegi is a fucking disaster. It has to be the worst pit entrance in the whole game, dude. That pit entrance is so shit, it's mind-blowing. Just as shit as how I did that corner. Hey, don't worry about it. My excuse is that my tires are cold, okay? Don't worry about it. Cold tires. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, okay. At this point, with 3 occurrences like that, and they all ended well, I guess it really wasn't that hard to keep control in that corner. Wasn't as impressive as it originally looked like. The very interesting thing that we are essentially at the end of the championship, and we didn't have to change the oil once. So that's the good thing that they actually learned from Gran Turismo 3, that nobody likes the idea of changing the oil every 2 races, you know? That's pretty nice. That it's barely even a factor. In fact, I think the oil is only relevant when you purchase used cars, because they will have an oil you will need to change. Outside of that, it is not a problem. Will I be able to lap twice here? I don't know. It could happen. Considering that the halfway point of the race is in lap 26, if by then I manage to lap them once, then I can definitely lap them twice. But we will see. I still think that this set of corners is crazy regardless. Even if it's not that hard to do with this Formula car, it's crazy in concept. You know what? I'm still surprised that out of every single track in the game, out of every single track in this championship, the one that I had the most fun driving with this car was in El Capitan, which is a track that normally I don't like, but doing it at very fast speeds with this car was super fun. So that's surprising. So I guess that my concept of that track will change a little bit. I won't think very badly of it. I will be very neutral with it, I guess. It's a track that I feel neutral towards, I guess. For lack of a better denomination, you know? Well, considering how messed up some of these corners are, I'm surprised that the tire wear is not worse than this. Like, the tire wear is pretty generous, all things considering here. So that's interesting. Yeah, with this, another thing that we can be sure of is that I know that the first races I did them with racing aids off, as I was basically just getting used to it, and I mean, I didn't know how hard the races would be until I realized they weren't hard at all. So the thing is that if I did those first races without driving aids, that was a pity, by the way. If I did them without driving aids, I feel like I would have still dominated as much as I did with them. So that means that, all in all, every single race in this championship is doable without driving aids, at least by me. By better players, it's probably not even a question. But not Nürburgring. That's the interesting thing. As I keep repeating, I knew Nürburgring was an extremely complex and technical track, but to the point that I cannot even do it without driving aids, I was not expecting that. But that just tells you how insanely fucked up that track is. Especially for this car, you know. But Nürburgring is something that you gotta be careful of. That was a huge time waste. Coming from a PB to that is a little bit sad. Whatever. I don't know if this can be like the previous race where I can actually lap these guys twice. Doesn't seem like it will happen. If I'm already not that close to lapping them once and we are essentially enter the halfway point of the race, I have a feeling that this is just not gonna go well. But I mean, who cares, right? Basically here we are measuring how much I can flex in front of the AI. So we are not discussing if I'm gonna win or not. No, I'm obviously gonna win, but it will be by less than usual, maybe. But also keep in mind that this is a longer track than a lot of the previous ones. Now, I gotta say that my tire wear in this stint was very bad because the rear right tire is already in a very bad state, and something tells me that I'm gonna get obliterated in this corner. I hope not, but it's pointing to that. Okay, I steer as softly as I could there. Like, I did that as carefully as I could, and thankfully it paid off. No problems. No problems at all. Let's get it. The halfway point of the race will be on the next lap. So that essentially does mean that this will be an hour and a half race. So very standard considering this championship, of course. Very standard stuff. Oof, close. Yeah, at this rate I'm not lapping these guys twice. Only gonna be once. So my curiosity in situations like this is how much it would have changed if I was using driving aids. Probably not much, but you never know. I also like the separation on the pit exit. You have a line that divides the track in two. On the right side, the guys that get out of pits, and on the left side, the guys that are racing normally. Pretty cool. I like that. Like, a lot of tracks don't even bother having such an explicit distinction like that, but this one does. That's pretty cool. Shit. Okay, that would have been pretty bad, but I think these guys exaggerate a little bit too much when they pit stop. I mean, when they brake. That was another PB. When they brake on the chicane, it's like they, I don't know, are braking for their lives, but you can brake pretty late. Like, you don't need to do it that early. I mean, they are slow corners for sure, but not that slow. And yet again in this race, the silver car is absolutely dominating. Because it's not just that he's in first place, as I always say, but the fact that he's in first place by quite a lot. Same about the purple blue guy being in third place by quite a lot. Okay. I did not lose control that badly there, but that is definitely a race-ending accident without a doubt. Like full speed into the wall, you're not surviving that. Well, you might be surviving that, but your car is not. Your car is definitely not surviving that. In fact, in that place, I'm surprised that the wall is so close. That seems a little bit dangerous, right? If you lose control to the left side, it's like a little bit too much. Hey, whatever, who cares? I don't have to worry about that. Unfortunately here, I will lap this guy, but in 2 laps I have to pit in, so it won't last for that long. I wonder if the full replay is gonna get saved here or not. Probably not. All these are very long races. Without a doubt. At least I will get the satisfaction of lapping him on the track like that, with a clean overtake as well, so I don't complain at all. Why? Come on. That's the thing. You go slightly longer in one of those corners, and the time loss is interesting because of the dense sand. Obviously, the sand is there for safety reasons, like you want to slow down the car as much as possible to avoid the driver to go full speed into the wall. But yeah. It is a problem when you don't give a shit about safety and you just wanna go fast. We gotta pit in. Thankfully, when you really wanna be careful with that, you can be very careful with that. You don't need to risk it at all and still go fast. I also like how in the pit entrance the car still goes fast until it reaches the actual paddocks, right? That's cool. Flower Garden Hotel. I wonder if that thing still exists. Could be. Perhaps. Still can't get over the fact of how oblivious the AI is in this game. Just how clueless about its environment is. Oh, a guy is approaching me from behind. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna do this corner as if no one was there. And it's not even about corner, like that one was like part of a straight and they didn't give a shit. Just move while someone is behind you, effectively blocking them. I remember that in the PS3 games you can actually alter the behavior of the AI. You can make them super aggressive if you want to. And I'm pretty sure that, I mean, it's been a while so I don't remember very well, but pretty sure that that setting is not very different to how the AI behaves in these games. Though, I wouldn't use the word aggressive, I would more use the word oblivious, as I say. They just don't... They are essentially driving as if they were the only ones in the track. At least when you are behind them. When you're in the front, at least they more or less try to avoid you, but... yeah. So the whole way this track is built, actually going to this track has to be fantastic. Like the way the bridges are built, the way you can see the whole track from above, and how nice the landscape is, has to be fantastic. That's also probably one of the reasons why it's such a legendary track, right? And you don't even have to attend as a driver, like just go in here as an spectator, and if you are allowed to walk around the outside of the track to see how everything looks. I don't know if there are tours like that. If you have a guided tours where you just walk on the side of the track, that would be pretty nice. There's a lot of this landscape, like for example there, you just look over there and look at the other side of the track right below you. Below and behind. And here basically seeing the other part of the track also from above, since this is a bridge. And the thing is that it's not that easy to see when you are, well, playing a game, obviously, but these tracks are huge, you know? Like, these tracks are absolutely huge. We are talking about, you know, the same size as a park, if not bigger than that. Well, depending on the park, I guess, but like, it's such an insane like an insane location to be on a racetrack like this one, you know. I'm too lazy to travel to another country, and even more so just to see a racing track, you know. No thanks. Yeah, I mean, at that point, if you're gonna visit a racetrack, you might as well either watch a race or be part of a race. So being part of a race requires a little bit more money than just watching one. I don't know how it is with rentals in tracks like this, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of these tracks probably offer options like renting a vehicle to race against other people that also rent a vehicle. It's probably extremely expensive, assuming it's an option, but I wonder how it works. Anything related to motorsports in real life is extremely expensive. Very, very expensive. This will be the lap by pit stop. Also reaching the 1 hour mark of the race. But yeah. At least the good thing is that after this I can take a break from these long ass races. As I like racing, and as you know, I don't mind doing races like this, considering that this is already the last one and I've been able to do all of them. But yeah, I personally prefer races that are short and sweet, you know? At least when it comes to video games. Well, when it comes to real life, I don't race anyways, or watch races for that matter, so doesn't really matter. But in video games, yeah, I prefer shorter races. But at least that's the good thing of being done with this championship, that I can finally focus on playing games with actual short races. And I was thinking, you know, because aside from the arcade mode of Gran Turismo 3 and 4, another thing that I was thinking that it could be interesting to do is the Formula GT Championship from Gran Turismo 3. But the problem is that with how long this took, that one will take about the same amount of time, and I don't know if I want to do that. Probably not. Especially considering that Gran Turismo 3 has an even smaller selection of tracks than this one. So, yeah. But I say even smaller, implying this one is small. No, it isn't. But I mean that it has a smaller selection than this one, and they are probably gonna have some very bad picks as well. But yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, the good thing that I like about Gran Turismo 3 is that differently from this game, every Formula car is different. I don't know how actually different they are gameplay-wise. Maybe in reality they all have different names, but they are the exact same car. I don't know. But I like the possible idea of all the cars being different. But honestly, doing another challenge like this, probably not a good idea. Like, what I'm trying to say is that I probably rather play the PS3 games before doing a challenge like that. Like, the arcade modes, yes, I'll play them before the PS3 games, but that Formula Championship, I don't think so. And I honestly don't remember if the PS3 games even have the Formula Championship, and if it was as long as this one's. Hopefully not, but maybe it was the case. Hard to tell. Well, one thing that the PS3 games have that this one doesn't is karting. You can actually play with kart cars. If I'm not mistaken, Gran Turismo 6 had like a formula campaign where you started with karts and then you went into classic formula from like the 80s or 90s, then to more modern formulas, and then to like the last model of formulas. Something like that. Or at least that's what I remember being the case. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. It's something that I remember being the case at least in one game. And since there aren't many games that I play that have karting outside, obviously, from the typical cartoon games like Crash Team Racing or whatever that only have karts as a visual choice. In games like this that are supposed to be a little bit more serious, I think Gran Turismo is the only game I play that features karts. I mean, I'm pretty sure that games like Forza probably have them as well, but I only played one Forza game, and that one did not have karts. It was Forza Motorsport 6 Apex. Maybe the actual full version of the game did have karts, but Not the Apex version that was essentially a glorified demo. But I'm also very... Oh, that was a PB then. I wasn't even paying attention to the track that time. Unbelievable that I can actually autopilot the track to an extent that I don't pay attention to the track and I get a PB. Because if you ask me to recollect that previous lap, I can't. It's like that previous lap, I mean. If you ask me that, like, I don't even remember that lap happening. Like, I was completely spaced out talking about the PS3 games. So then, can't believe that I already dominated this track like this. Pretty crazy. Because I think that wasn't even the case with Fuji Speedway. With Fuji Speedway, it seems like I still needed to focus on some corners. That's mostly because this track, the only very slow corners it has is the hairpin that I passed like a couple corners ago, and the chicane. But the chicane is still something that doesn't require an insane amount of steering. Like, you essentially go like this and then full throttle and no problem. While Fuji Speedway has a lot of very slow corners. Well, it pretty much is slow corner the track. So I think that that's the key. If you use a formula car like this one, and especially if you don't have driving aids enabled, what you want are fast corners. You just want corners that are very fast, and that's it. You don't want slow corners. So corners like this one here, this corner is your nemesis. And Fuji Speedway is full of corners similar to that. Even if not as brutal, they are still very sharp and slow. This race, on the other hand, is a different story. But I guess that's the reason why El Capitan felt so good, because for a car like this, most corners in that track were fast. For other cars you need to brake a lot, but for this car, you can do so much stuff at full speed. And I mean, I guess that also applies to this track, to Tsukuba Circuit, you know? This is the lap I need to fit in, right? Because yes, its time 7 is 42. Or well, rather, yes, its time 7. Whether it's 6 times 7 or 7 times 6 doesn't make a difference, obviously. The correct, the right calculation to do is 6 times 7. If you want to calculate 6 7 times. Well, additionally, you could do 42 divided by 6. Like, that will be the actual real operation that you wanna do. It's just that doing that is way harder in lower numbers like this than just remembering the multiplication tables. Because you will have to do 4 divided by 6, 0, because you cannot... Well, actually, hold up. I just realized, no. Doing Like, it will be redundant. Doing a manual division here wouldn't serve any purpose, because you will still need to do 42 divided by 6. But if you try to do it the classic way, you basically put a 0, you put the 4 lower, put the 4 lower and then the 2, and you end up doing 42 divided by 6. So at that point you need to know the multiplication tables no matter what. My bad. At that point it doesn't really make a difference. That also means that the next pit stop is the last one. And we're getting close to the truth. I feel like that's one of the things that I'm looking forward the most. What car could I possibly unlock by winning this? I feel like if it's not another Formula car, it will be a disappointment. But hey, you never know. Maybe it's another special car that it's not even for sale and you can only use in special occasions. Like, I don't know. Maybe you unlock Sonic the Hedgehog, you know? No, definitely not. But maybe you could unlock something stupid like that. Who knows? Would be nice since both are Sony games that you could unlock a Ridge Racer car. But no, the point of Gran Turismo is to feature real cars. And obviously this one is not a real car, but it's based on a real car. You could argue the same thing about Ridge Racer, but it will still be a little bit too much probably. And for what I know, the classic Ridge Racer car, like the base one that is in the first game, the red one, apparently is based on a Miata. Though a very buff Miata, a Miata doesn't go that fast. Not in a million years. But, you know, things like the Devil car is based on an LMP, on a Le Mans prototype, so you could theoretically have something like that. You know, I really have absolutely zero clue what the reward from this is. My prediction is that it's gonna be something disappointing, like a very classic model of Ford GT. Yeah, pretty nice, but who gives a shit? Yes, it's supposed to be very rare because you cannot purchase it, and it might be only unlockable through this championship. Yeah, okay, but just telling me that it's exclusive is not gonna make me like it, you know? I'm extremely curious about it, and obviously really want for the game to not crash when the reward screen appears, as I usually do on the last race of every championship that I played. The idea will be doing a save state before I cross the finish line, in case it wants to crash. But we will see. Because, you know, most of the championship races that I did on the rest of the game, if I needed to redo a race, it will be whatever. Like, at most it will be a 10-lap race that sure was a pain in the ass, but yeah, oh well, I can do it. But redoing a whole hour and a half race, that's a different story that I probably don't want to do. Well, probably no, I don't want to do. But it will be catastrophic if it happens. Like, it will be an extremely anticlimactic finish. Because even if I save state before the finish line, that doesn't guarantee that after loading it's gonna work, you know? Like, I already did something similar, though not before the finish line. I did it once the rewards were already showing up. Like, I save state there, the game crashed, I loaded it and it still crashed. So that will be a problem. We hope it's not the case. Or at least I hope it's not the case. I went long there, really. It's as I say, every time that I have a car in front of me, I end up getting distracted. It's like I cannot, because I end up thinking of how to overtake them and stuff like that, and I end up getting super distracted. Like, it's very, very hard to just pretend they are not there. Not to mention that the slipstream can also mess you up a little bit, you know. So these guys should also pit stop at lap 48. It's just that their lap 48 is not at the same time as my lap 48, so there will be a slight difference. That's not where you're supposed to go, Mr. Yellow Car. Come on. You can do better than that. The chances of lapping these guys twice is still... they are still there. It's very unlikely though, but it's still very possible. I just very highly doubt it. It will require close to perfect driving from me, I mean, to lap all of them a second time. Because I'll pit stop here, but they'll pit stop in 2 laps, so essentially the distance will still be this one that you're seeing right now. But what we could do is sacrifice fuel. Like, to not replenish fuel and try to... Now, I think that at this point the fuel is not a factor. You already know that every time that you see the fuel bar, it gets filled before the tires get replaced, so that's a non-factor. But yeah, I'm not gonna bother with that. I still find it super funny how early these guys break in the chicanes. Like, they are about to crash head first into a wall or something. Alright. Final pit stop. And then we are good to go for the rest of the race. We will see how it goes. Yeah, basically the fuel refilling is free. Not listening, not anymore. Well, I'll tell you that after today we're not gonna be listening anymore to these songs. Well, maybe you will in private, but not in this game. Personally, that song in particular, Not Listening, probably one of the songs that I would want to listen on its own the most. Well, the only one, pretty much. Don't really care that much about any other one. I mean, Panama is interesting, but yeah. Not really my cup of tea. This song is more like me. I like it. It sounds cool. Well, I think the dream of... No, see, it's okay. What I did there in reality, that was an advanced braking, okay? I wanted to brake for the chicane, but I didn't want to make it look boring, so... I did that for style points, okay? That was the plan for that. 100% intentional, absolutely planned. Because you know, I saw my opponents brake a lot in the chicane, and I'm like, no, you can make it more interesting. And I did. It was an amazing break. They should teach that at driving schools. A very powerful technique. Well, I do think though that the dream of lapping these guys twice is a little bit dead though. I can most likely lap the third place I mean twice, but the second place, I don't know, is a little bit too far. It's entirely possible, but there aren't that many laps remaining, and despite this huge difference, he still drives relatively fast, you know. Fuck this corner, what the hell, dude? Why is that corner cucking me so much? What's wrong with you? Right, he's exiting the pits now. It's okay, if that's the case, I can 100% do it. It's not even that far, he's right there. Right, bring it on then. You know, imagine if the race was actually like this. That he was in first place right now, and I was in second. Can you imagine how extremely nervous I will be right now? Only 2 laps to go, and I need to overtake him. Obviously here he's pretty close, so yeah, I'm probably gonna overtake him in this lap, assuming I don't have an accident. But imagine if the stakes of this race were this high. Like this extremely long race, and it still gets defined on the last 2 laps. Can you imagine that? Well, in that case, against my initial forecast, just like in the previous race, I actually lap this second place twice. So essentially, I don't think there's been a single race where I only lapped someone once, right? Because you had a Nürburgring and Le Mans where I didn't lap them whatsoever, as you would expect. But I think that every other race has been minimum 2 laps. Like, I will have to go one by one on the previous races, but I'm pretty sure that there wasn't a single one where I lapped them only by 1 lap. It was either no laps or 2 laps minimum. So that's pretty nice. And that essentially tells you that the only challenging race was Nürburgring. Because even though Le Mans was the other one where I couldn't, you know, I couldn't lap them, it was for 2 reasons. First of all, because the track is very long, but also I think it was my first time driving without aids whatsoever. I'm pretty sure that if I repeated that race now, maybe I still wouldn't lap them, but I probably would be at least close to doing it. But Nürburgring, there is no way, dude. That shit... Well, there is no way, even if I play perfectly, because the track is extremely long, but... The thing is that... Yeah. Even if it was shorter, it's such a hard track that I don't think it would have happened. Well, regardless, this is the final lap of the whole championship. So let's get it. And that's a crazy thing to say, isn't it? Final lap of the whole championship. Like, the whole championship ends with this 1 lap. Absolutely crazy, to say the least. After all this effort and all this persistence, we're gonna be done with this extremely long championship and finally see what lays at the end of the tunnel, right? Because we still don't know that. Still don't know what the reward is gonna be. And yes, I will remember to save state before the finish line to prepare for a possible crash. A possible game crash, because obviously a car crash doesn't matter. Like, I could have the worst crash in the history of accidents and I will still win. But yeah, no, I mean a game crash. Which in this case is the worst type of crash you could have. Right. So here when I get to the straight, save state, and we finish the race. Finish the championship, and now, well, I want to let the second place finish. Oh, never mind, not even the game wanted to let you finish. Well, fuck you too. Honestly, I didn't really like you, Mr. Silver Car. Say that my hand kinda fell down. Alright. So, will you please not crash? I mean, for those who wonder, the crash happens after this screen. It didn't. Nice. So we get those 3 millions, just like that. Look at that. We almost reached 10 millions. 8 digits of total credits. And those are the final standings of the championship. 150 obviously by winning every race, but the second place got 72. That's literally less than half of my points. Can you imagine having less than half of the first place? That's pretty fucked up. Well, the people at Formula 1 can probably relate very well. Having half the points of the first place. So what's the reward here? What do you have for me? Oh, okay. This is the LMP, the Sauber Mercedes. This is supposed to kinda be the best LMP in the game. Supposed to be slightly better than the Minolta, at least just by looking at it compete as an AI. Like the Sauber Mercedes, I think is the fastest one by not a long shot, but it's definitely very fast. Well, that's a cool reward. It's just that obviously when you already have a Formula car, what's the point? Well, no credits though. Yeah, there you have the whole championship done. Feels kinda crazy to look at all these races, look at the lap count and think, I did all of those. I actually managed to finish all of those. And well, of course here we have the all 15 written there. And that essentially marks the end of all the extreme events. And well, essentially all the events that have the checker flag in their logo, pretty much. So hey, that's it. We are done with this game. Well, as I mentioned before, if I was truly a completionist, I would, I still have the one make races, the racing missions that I couldn't beat, the license on gold, the remaining endurances, and one, actually I can show you right now, one of the events that is relatively similar to the Formula GP, which is this one. 1,000 miles, well, I need to pick a car with those conditions, but essentially there are 4 races with like 100 laps each or something crazy like that. And differently from this championship, you are meant to do it with a slow car. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that probably. I don't think I'm masochistic enough. But that's something that if you're masochistic enough, you could do. So before I finish, I want to see the car that I unlock. Which is the... Where is it? It was from 89. Wait, did I pass it? Man, I always suck at spotting things in the garage. It's this one. 940. It's funny because it has more horsepower than the Formula car, but it's obviously not faster. And the information you have it here. This thing. It's a nice car though. I mean, it definitely looks good. But when it comes to performance, it's also supposed to be the best LMP in the game. At least if we look at the AI. And if you compare it to the horsepower of the Minolta, it's also a lot more powerful. How much mileage does this thing even have? Damn, 4,543 kilometers. So you can still sell it by the same amount as when it was new, I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But yeah, crazy, that amount of mileage. But yeah, regardless all of that, that's gonna be it for me with this game for the time being. The only thing, as I mentioned, that I'm interested to do in this game before being fully done with it is the arcade mode. But that's something that I'm not gonna do before the arcade mode of Gran Turismo 3, and that's also not something I plan to do anytime soon. So for the time being, we're just gonna take a break from Gran Turismo and, play other games. But yeah, just know that I really want to play the PlayStation 3 Gran Turismo game, so it's not like I'm like, yeah, goodbye Gran Turismo forever. No, I definitely want to keep playing them, but not anytime soon. We will let an interesting amount of time pass, and then we might get back to it, but yeah, not yet. But in any case, I hope you like the Formula Championship. I think it was cool. Would be nice if most of the racers were harder, or at least had a more interesting twist. But I guess it was fun enough to drive. without driving aids a car that is so fast, right? Like a lot of times it really felt very good to be in control of such a beast of a car in conditions that weren't very favorable, right? But yeah, this whole game is fantastic. Honestly, I recommend everyone to play. Like, you don't have to do the shit that I just did, like the whole Formula Championship, but just play this game casually and it's very good. I really recommend anyone to play it at least once in your life. But yeah, that's it for me for today. So thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream. So have a good one and take care.